You see, it's been a pretty one-sided game ever since that cannon rush failed. But it's always entertaining to show you a number of different things to play, including that cannon rush. This map I haven't really played a lot on before. Those of you who are veterans of 2 vs 2 will have played it a fair bit by now. Banshee's having done a lot of damage to the red base. Hardaway's down in the bottom left, my ally, but he's still in the runnings. And at this point, we're making plenty of Vikings. Vikings very good for landing on the enemy worker line and raiding them. Also quite good at taking out Banshees, that's for sure. And he's put down a pylon next to the other lot of destructible rocks. I think that's quite important because that would be probably our next opportunity. Landing here with Vikings again before the Marine shock, trying to kill a lot of SCVs here. And once they shock to dispense with us, then it's time to morph back and head out. Transformers. Man, that Transformers movie, did you guys catch that? You know, years and years ago, Transformers DVD, a mate of mine showed it to me. It's awesome. I remember watching Transformers as a kid, but man, every time I use Vikings in StarCraft 2, it always reminds me of some of the dudes you could watch. Putting down a third factory here, the plan is just to go pure Thors at the stage, upgrading +1 attack. Thors are just brilliant. 400 hit points. You can't argue with that. Really good unit in TVT and TVZ. Terran versus Protoss, probably not too bad. The only real thing you have to worry about in TVP is, mass Void Rays killing them quite quickly. Although, Thors do actually shoot down Void Rays pretty well as in addition to that. So just generally, Thor's very good unit if you can afford to get them, but if you've got enough economy to afford a lot of Thors in the first place, you're probably winning regardless of what you get. Well, that's not too true. I mean, if you add to some of your troops some Thors, just a couple, it does make a big difference. But the only point that I'm trying to make in a very fumbled and roundabout sort of way is Thor's thumbs up. Looking at economy, our allies not really spending very well. Sorry, our opponents, I meant. This purple Terran here has nearly 3,000 minerals, but only 600 gas in the bank. Really feel like he's not mining gas efficiently enough. You guys may have seen that previous commentary I did where I was just complaining about gas efficiency the entire game. Gas can be hard to come by sometimes in StarCraft 2, especially if you capture a high-yield mineral patch, or if you're just collecting SCVs up over a long period of the game and not expanding enough, or at least not taking the refineries quick enough. Can be a problem. So probably what I would do is, if I was in that purple Terran player's position, would be to upgrade combat shields and upgrade Marines and just pump them out of 3 barracks with reactors. Hitting the destructible rocks, but starting to pull back once we see their forces are nearby and sieging up. And this is going to be a bit of a doozy of combat. All our Marines getting shot by those tanks right away, but landing the Vikings close to the tanks just to make sure that they're within their minimum range, so they can't be splattered by the tanks, and then moving up the rank. Those 2 Thors in support there should be able to do a lot. And as you can see, Thor's able to take out the Banshees pretty quickly, and very rare that you'll be using Vikings for ground attacks, but since our opponents also have Vikings, I didn't really want to have a shootout in the air. I wanted to rely on ground to win this fight, and it looks like we managed to do that. The Thor doing very well. But finally, this Protoss player actually getting some serious troops in, some Stalkers helping save the day, and this Thor pulling back, unfortunately not saving him. It's probably really worth taking SCVs along to a fight if you're using Thors. Just a bit of a tip. Do what I say, not what I do when you're watching these commentaries, guys, because I've got to admit I'm a second-rate StarCraft 2 player in terms of my ability. I haven't really been practicing much or watching enough replays to really get streamlined with it, and of course no clue what to do in 2 vs 2 apart from build stuff like Marauders and Thors. We tried a lot of Reaper rushes in 2 vs 2. Just the fact is we weren't very good with Reapers in terms of timing and micros, so we decided not to stick with that. But if you know what you're doing, you probably should stick with Reapers. Had a little bit of a read from something Blizzard posted on Battle.net recently, that they are actually going to be toning Reapers down a little bit. They're going to be toning tanks down a little bit. They're even going to be toning battle cruisers down a little bit. So there you have it. Terran have been, by the sounds of things, the race with the most potential advantages lately. But that's cool. Looks like my ally putting down some turrets, but this drop showing up right before we can do that, and that's going to slow us progress a bit in terms of expansion. But seeing that was happening, that he was deciding to be attacked here with some of his Marines out of position, what I decided to do was just call in the attack and go for it. And luckily, one Viking there ready to hit the dropship, just to slow it down a little bit, make sure it's not going to be pushing to the base too carefully. But a lot of resources piled in at the moment, and 6 Thors ready to go. So let's see how 6 Thors do. Predictably, should do pretty well. He's got some tanks, but no, not really any match for Thors. He has got a lot of troops, so with a prolonged shooting, the Thors will take a fair bit of damage. But as you can see here, Thors do pack a bit of a punch, down to 4 Thors at this point. But they are really just leveling everything in front of them. Another Thor showing up to back me up. Look at that battle. Nothing can stand against them by the looks. Took out the entire enemy army with 3 Thors left. Bam, 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 bam. And this point, we'll be ready to hit the mineral line. And one thing that I have neglected to do is take the strike cannons. I haven't actually upgraded that, which is pretty stupid. You should really get stuff like strike cannons straight away. I think it's 250 damage over a short period of time, so you can actually, I could actually just, it might even be 500, I can't remember. What I could actually do at this point, or I could have done before I got hit by that zealot, would be to actually just kill his command center with strike cannons. It would have nuked most of the damage, or if not all of the damage, off that command center there. But for now, just blapping away at whatever I can before reinforcements show up to kill those 2 Thors. But as you can see, I've got plenty more Thors back at base. Those 2 Thors were at my mineral line, just to protect against some roaming banshees that were around the side there. But there's the last of Thors on that first attack wave. But what you're going to see is another attack wave of Thors. Another 2 showing up in his base, just pummeling him. So we'll see how well they deal with this prolonged Thor assault. More Protoss units showing up, but as soon as they deal with these guys, I'll tell you what, there'll be another group of Thors showing up to take their place. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. Man, that's so tough. Again, if I had some SCVs there to repair, and if I'd microed a bit better, you'd probably see me still with 8 Thors alive, and them with no base at all. So yeah, what you really want to do here is bring SCVs, upgrade strike cannons, and just micro the ones that are being damaged. And you've got basically an ultimate attack force. Thor's very good against air units and ground units. The only thing that Thors aren't particularly good at are things like Zerglings that surround them too quickly. Thor's rate of fire is slightly too slow to deal with all of the Zerglings at once. I've built some extra barracks because at this point I'm a bit more like the enemy there. I'm a bit like my enemy, I should say, where I've got too many minerals, not enough gas. Partly because the Thors really chew through gas very quickly, so that's part of the problem. But adding reactors here so that I can actually expend Marines, putting more supply depots down so I can feed them, if you want to think of it that way. Enemy Void Rays could be a little bit of a problem for buildings. Probably not a problem for the Thors so much, because focus fire Thors will take down Void Rays very quickly. What have we got this time? 7, 8 Thors? So I think these guys are going to get a bit thawed out very shortly. Here we go. Yep, so Banshees first of all, knocking them out. And how many Thors is that? That's 8 Thors. 8 Thors. There's no way they're going to be able to survive this little wave here. That first Thor down below half health, going to take it in the face very shortly. This is where I'd really want to pull it out. But it's still alive, so SCVs, if they were available at that point, would be healing that one back up to full. And man, watch these buildings crumble after these Thors start packing their punch. Bam! Really satisfying stuff. Hope you guys are enjoying this Thor fest. And killing all of the SCVs as well. This game's pretty much over. I mean, I'll end the commentary. I mean, I would end the commentary right now, but I know you guys like watching it to the bitter finish. Maybe next StarCraft 2 game that I report on will be more of an exciting game, probably a pro game. I don't plan on actually commentating on my own games very often, just because they are not of a particularly exciting quality. And going on here to pummel the Protoss space, as it deserves to be. Oh, Void Rays moving in now, and moving over yet another couple of Thors showing up. That's Thors number 9, 10, 11, sorry. So, weakening the Thors, the Void Rays quite significantly, but managed to get out of it. And we'll be putting an assault on the nearest Terran base, which happens to be my base. Here they come now, and moving in some Marines. And I'm not sure what the Marauders are doing there, but popping Marines fairly quickly. I mean, Marines are the counter to Void Rays, but only if you have enough of them. So here we go. Got a couple of reserve Thors in there, and this is what I mean about Void Rays versus Thors. If you don't have enough Thors, they can actually kill you really quickly. So there you go. That's one way to counter Thors, but you really should outnumber the Thors 2 to 1, roughly 2 to 1. Maybe get away with 1.5, but 2 to 1 is the best for Void Rays versus Thors. The resources cost probably works out to be something similar anyway. And trying to heal that building until I can get that the Void Rays taken care of, but it's quite hard to do. What I'm going to have to do here is bring in my Marines, which have been freshly created by those reactors, and then pop off the Void Rays. So that will actually take care of them right there. So once you've got the Marines, stim them up, move in, and quickly dealing with those Void Rays, and that's it. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We'll have another commentary for you within the week.